Welcome, everyone. This is episode 34 with myself, Amy Shine, and it is the new year. So today's title of the podcast is New Year Creating Beyond Distraction. So, I every year do a call called Journaling Your Asks. Um, and it's a free call I do every year. I'll probably do it again this year. And where I sit down every year and we write in a journal what we're asking for the year. And I like to divide it up into like what you're asking for with your body. Hi, Yelling. Let me know if you hear me okay, because I just did something different with audio today. So, so as I was saying, we divide up the asks. So what you're asking for with your body, what you're asking for with your business, what are you asking for with your um, relationships, what are you asking for with your money flows. So it's really looking at all areas of your life. So every year I've been doing that, and also like really getting specific too, like say with your business, are you looking to expand your team, are you looking to travel, are you looking even to buy equipment for your business? So we go in and we get really clear on like everything we'd like to start like adding to our life in that year. And then throughout the year you can go back in and you can add to it, and you can also check in and look like, okay, am I actually creating what I asked for at the start of the year? And I have found that writing down what I'm asking for, 9 times out of 10, I create it. I might not create it in the time frame I would like to because I'm kind of impatient, but I nearly always create everything I'm asking for. Now, what I'm starting to see though is, do I actually create at the speed and the intensity and the energy I could be creating? Or have I been slowing down the creation of my life, the creation of my business, my body, money, all of it, with distracting myself? So what do I mean by distractions? Like how many big, and big is probably not a right word, but how many like different creative ideas do you have? Like how many different things do you feel inspired by? A lot of us, we're inspired by different things. Some of it could be like you might be inspired to move your body in a different way, or maybe you're inspired by your kids, or maybe you're inspired by gardening or cooking. And there's certain things that really inspire us. And there's certain things we'd like to bring to the world. And it's like, do you actually give that your energy, or do you allow yourself to be distracted? Now, what do we allow ourselves to be distracted by? Okay, we get distracted by our phones, by checking our emails, by being on social media, um, by trauma and drama, by just having mindless, stupid conversations with people that don't really lead to anywhere. And so this podcast is inspired by Shannon O'Hara. Just did a podcast. Shannon O'Hara, if you don't know her, she is founder or creator of Talk to the Entities, and she does lots of other amazing classes with consciousness. And she's a facilitator of consciousness. She does a podcast called Consciousness Anywhere, I think it is called. She just did a podcast on creating beyond, like, I think her podcast was like creating, like, beyond the distraction from consciousness, something like that. But it was a great podcast, and it really inspired and woke things up in me that I actually have been looking at for a while. Um, this year, and in the last few years, I became very aware of how much I was distracting myself with computer, with being on social media, with scrolling through Facebook, with mindless tasks that weren't actually really adding to what I really wanted to create. And I became very aware of that in the last couple of years. This year, I became a Right Recovery for You facilitator. And I did a class called Screen Got You Hooked. And that class was incredible because even in just saying yes to facilitating that class, it showed me everywhere I was hooked to the screen, and I was using the screen to not be present, to check out, and to not actually be as creative, as joyful, as spacious, as generative as I could really be. So I am calling this year the year of creating beyond distraction. I am committing that this is the year that I stop allowing myself to be distracted. And it's just, I'm distracted by the world around me. Guys, if you're watching here, can you just give me a thumbs up or a yes if you hear me okay? Just let me know the volume's okay and you can hear me okay. So I've even noticed in the last few days, since it turned, the 1st of January turned and we have the new year, I've noticed like the energy has been really heavy, dense, intense. Um, and I notice like as I go about my days, hearing things like, oh, I don't want to do this, or oh, I just want to go to sleep, or I don't want to wake up. All these energies coming in, and I'm like, okay, they are the distractions. That is not mine. I actually love creating my life. I love being creative. I love bringing ideas to the world. I love creating and bringing what I'm inspired about, bringing that to the world. So when these energies come in, they feel like mine. They're very loud, so it seems like they're mine, but they're not. And so yesterday, I even had to be like, okay, Amy, what's asking for your energy now? What requires your attention? And then going to do whatever that thing was that required my attention. But in the middle of that, hearing all the energies coming in, trying to distract me. Go check your phone, go check social media, go lie on the couch, maybe go back to bed, you're tired. And I was like, okay, is this mine? No. Okay. Am I going to leave these energies distract me? If I was choosing my reality here, what would I choose? And I was like, okay, what is my reality? And that's a great question you could start with. What is my reality? What is my true reality? Your reality is ease, joy, and glory. It's space, it's lightness. If it's not lightness, it's not yours. Yes, there may be times where your body is tired and it requires to rest, but it's a different energy to that heaviness that hits you, that density, that intensity, that almost feeling like you're moving through muck. So yesterday and the last few days all week, it was like I was moving through muck. And I was like, okay, this is not my reality. What is my reality? My reality is light, it's spacious. Okay, how can I have my reality here? And so it's being really present and noticing all the distractions coming in and then being like, okay, am I going to allow myself to be distracted or am I going to stay on course here? What requires my energy? What is asking to be created now that would inspire me and energize me? And then what I did is I actually went, I went out in nature to like a natural preserve near my house, took my phone with me, and I created some videos from there. Now, there are some things that I know will create greater in my world, creation wise, like things I've been wanting to create for a while now that I just avoid. I find everything else to distract me. So, a good question to ask with that is, okay, what am I actually avoiding here? And what you may find is you're avoiding being that joy, being that space, being that creation, being that lightness, because everyone else around you is just like heavy, dense, problem. But like, are you willing to actually go towards what inspires you and what energizes you, even if nobody else is choosing that? And that's what I got to yesterday. I was like, wow, like, okay, a lot of people around me are choosing heaviness, they're choosing density, they're choosing problems. Am I willing to keep choosing what inspires me, even if nobody around me is choosing that? And then that is the whole energy of not allowing yourself to be distracted by this reality. So, what are the big things, the big asks you have? Like, what are the things that really get you going? When I mean big asks, I don't mean like they have to be like, oh, I want to be a multi-millionaire or whatever. It could be just like, what are the things that really inspire you? And what are the gifts, talents, and abilities that you have that you know when you give that energy, it creates greater? And are you going towards that or are you allowing yourself to be distracted? And what if this year you really could get clear on, okay, what is it that you'd really like to create that you've been distracting yourself from? get clear on what that is. For some of you, maybe like a project, it may be starting a new business, it may be adding things to your business, it may be being present in your relationships, it may be moving house, finding a new place to live, it could be even redecorating your house. Like, what are the things that you know if you chose them would create more ease in your world? And if you stopped distracting yourself from these things and start to take small choices every day towards creating that, what would that create for your life and for your future? Do you like my little teacups? So, for those of you listening to my audio replay, I got little Italian teacups from a very good friend of mine, Barbara, for Christmas. And that's another energy that I'd been wanting to add to my life, like antiques. I wanted to start going antique shopping. I wanted to start adding more wealth and abundance to my home. And that was another thing I'd been avoiding. Today, I started to go antique shopping and start looking at, okay, what do I want to add? What do I want around me? You know? And then like how much you avoid doing those things. What are you really avoiding? And what I've found is a lot of the time I'm avoiding the space, I'm avoiding the joy, I'm avoiding the orgasmic living. So what if this was the year that you really got present and you stopped distracting you from what you know will create greater? So what I've started to do, and a lot of you probably have this question already, but do you use it? And I have this question, I still didn't use it. And it's from Gary Douglas. And he says, I get up every day and I ask, what requires my attention and what requires my energy today? Now, what I've started to do is, because that's such like a day is like a big day. A lot can happen in a day. And there's never just one thing that requires your attention in a day. So what I do is, okay, what requires my attention today? And then you might have a couple of things. And then, okay, what requires my attention right now? What requires my energy right now? And then give it your energy, whatever's required. Maybe you need to send an email, make a phone call, whatever. Now, what have I been avoiding that if I made a small choice with it today would start creating what I'm asking for in the world? So, like say, for example, I know I am here to create something with movement. And I have been choosing it in increments, right? Bit by bit, a little bit here, a little bit there. And then I'll forget about it. Or I won't forget about it, but it'll kind of get pushed down to the bottom of my list. And I'll put all these other things in front of it. And then I'll be like, oh, I haven't done anything with the movement. Okay. And then I'll do something with it for a while. And then I'll be like, oh my God, I love this. Why am I not doing more of it? And then I'll put it back to the bottom of the list again and have a load of other things in front of it. And so what I've started to realize, okay, it's not about, all right, I need to do this and only do this, but it is about looking what small choices could I make today to start moving more in that direction. And so it may be making a video, it may be even just something small, but what if you could actually, what I'm looking at is, what if I could actually start every day making a small choice towards that? Like I'm looking also at buying a house, and I spoke about this before, like even starting to like get in touch with different real estate agents, like find out what different houses are available, actually start looking at what kind of house I'd like. So it's like always keep feeding that and giving energy to that. So what small choice could you make today that would start energizing the big choices in your life? And then I have even noticed when I get clear on, okay, I have been avoiding this and this is something that's asking for, and it's something that I know will create greater. And then I notice how much the distractions want to come in. Like, oh, just forget about that. Just go on your phone, and then you'll go on your phone. And before you know it, you're 30 minutes on your phone and you haven't actually taken the action or followed through on what you said you were going to do in that day. So this is where I'm actually looking at, okay, if this is the year of creating beyond distraction, I have to get really clear with myself, not just in the morning, but throughout the day. Amy, what are you choosing right now? Oh, okay. I was distracting myself again. Okay, go back to what you were choosing. And so the more and more you can get present with the distractions, the more and more you can actually create beyond the distractions. And that's what actually the Screen Got You Hooked call really created for a lot of us, is that a lot of us, when we started looking at this, we were like, wow, like we knew we were using the phone to distract us, but we didn't realize how much and how incessant it was. So what are you using to distract you from creating the life you say you desire? And what are you using to distract you from showing up in the world? What are the things that you know that have been niggling at you to give your attention to that you have been ignoring? And this is one other thing I want to touch on, is like, things will come to you. Everything is an entity, everything has an energy. So for me, the movement will talk to me and it's like, let's create this. And then I'll be like, okay. And then I won't do it. And then it'll come back to me like, Amy, let's create this. Like the ideas come to me and they tell me. And then I go, okay. And then I don't follow through on it. Well, if I don't follow through on it, guess what? Those ideas are going to go to someone else and someone else will create them. So what ideas are talking to you that you are hearing, but you're not following through with? And everything that is, and everywhere you're not following through with the ideas that are coming to you, can we destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, only shorts, boys and means. And then, like, you'll get the hit, like, oh, I need to book a session with that person, or I need to call that person. Like, the energy of that is talking to you and telling you it requires your attention. It requires your energy. Are you listening? Are you hearing the whispers of the universe? Are you receiving the energies that are asking for your attention? And are you willing to gift those energies your attention? Or are you being distracted by the intensity, the density, the judgment, and the artificial intelligence, the matrix of this reality? And that's what I'm getting really clear on this year, is like, wow, how much the matrix, the mind, the mental diagnosis, the computation, the conclusion, the social media, the artificial intelligence is coming in to distract you from actually being present in your life and from creating your big life, your big dreams, your big ass. Because those little things that come to you throughout the day, they are what are contributing to the big ask. You cannot get to the big ask until you first give energy to the small ask that will lead to that. So those little things where the movement is like, Amy, make these videos. Amy, go make this movement videos. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I don't actually follow through with it. Then I'm not actually creating towards that big ask of creating something big in the world with movement. Likewise, if I want to move house and I want to live in this big, beautiful house, but I'm not listening to the little whispers that are saying, go talk to this person, go look here, go, all these little things. So what small choices and small asks are asking for your attention that you've been ignoring that would lead to you creating your big life? So everything that is and everything that doesn't allow you to hear those whispers now and hear the small choices that are asking to be made and actualized every day, can we destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, on his shirts, boys, me on. So that's the access consciousness clearing statement. I don't think I've done that on this show before. So there you go. It's my first kind of show, doing a show by myself. And there's the access consciousness clearing statement. That starts clearing the places where you're actually sticking yourself and you're getting stuck in unconsciousness. And it starts to free you up so you actually can be more conscious and more present. If you want to know more about that, you can go to www.theclearingstatement.com. You also learn about the clearings in Access Consciousness clearings in the Access Bars class and the Foundation class. So guys, I would love to know what's asking to be birthed through you this year. What ideas are coming to you? And what if every day you could ask, what requires my energy today? And what requires my energy right now? So you're listening to this podcast right now, or you're listening in the future. We're about to finish. My question for you right now is, okay, first of all, relax your body. Expand out 100 million miles in all directions. Now, what requires your energy next? After you finished with this podcast, what requires your energy next? Whew, okay. Now, would you be willing to go and give that your energy, whatever that was for you? And when you're done with that, stay present with that as you follow through with whatever it was. For me, it was packing. I got to go pack. I'm going to Denver tomorrow. And then there's also some other things I wanted to do. So it's interesting. So I heard go pack after I'm done with this podcast. But then I also heard my head come in, but you need to get on your phone and you need to do these other things. But the energy is telling me where to go. My head is coming in to try and distract me. So this is a good exercise in being present with the energy versus listening to your head. So I'm going to follow the energy, go pack my bag. When I'm done with packing, I'm going to ask, okay, what requires my energy next? So this can be a muscle you can start practicing in following energy rather than listening to your head and being distracted by your mind, which, by the way, isn't even yours. You're just distracted by the matrix of this reality, the artificial intelligence, the mind, everyone else's minds that you hear. So get really present with your body. Get present with the energies that are asking for your attention and follow them. Energy doesn't lie. Energy has your back. Energy always will create greater. So follow the energy. Okay, everyone. Thanks for being here. I will see you next week. Bye.